Welcome to the ultimate guide on grape farming in North America. Today, we're diving deep into how American and Canadian farmers are turning their grape vineyards into million-dollar enterprises. Whether you're dreaming of starting your own vineyard or just curious about how those juicy grapes make it from farm to your table, you're in the right place. You know, it's fascinating. The North American grape industry has grown into a $9.3 billion powerhouse. But what's even more exciting is that regular farmers, maybe just like you, are building incredible success stories. Take Mike Henderson, for example. He started with just 5 acres in Washington state, and today, his vineyard operation brings in millions annually. But here's the thing. Success in grape farming isn't just about planting some vines and hoping for the best. It's about understanding the complete journey, from soil to sale. And that's exactly what we're covering today. We've divided this guide into 8 comprehensive sections to make it easy for you to follow along. First, we'll explore the current grape farming revolution and why now is the perfect time to get involved. Then, we'll dive into the explosive market potential and opportunities waiting to be seized in both domestic and international markets. Third, we'll walk you through starting your own vineyard journey, covering everything from land selection to initial setup. In the 4th section, we'll explore different grape varieties and help you choose the right ones for your climate and market. 5th, we'll reveal advanced growing techniques that top farmers use to maximize their yields. Section 6 covers the critical harvesting process and quality control measures that set successful vineyards apart. In Section 7, we'll tackle post-harvest handling, a make-or-break point for many farmers. Finally, we'll show you how to build your grape empire through smart marketing and business strategies. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear roadmap to start and grow your own successful grape farming operation. So grab your notebook, because we're about to share the kind of practical, proven insights that typically take years to learn. Ready to begin your grape farming journey? Let's dive into Section 1. The modern grape revolution. The grape farming industry isn't what it used to be. Gone are the days when growing grapes was just about hoping for good weather and a decent harvest. Today's grape revolution is transforming traditional farming into a high-tech, high-reward business. Let me share something incredible with you. While traditional crops might give you 1 harvest a year, established grapevines can produce for 40 years or more. That's 4 decades of return on your initial investment. But here's what makes it even more exciting. Grape farmers aren't just selling their harvest anymore. They're building entire ecosystems around their vineyards. Take Sarah Miller's story from California's Napa Valley. 5 years ago, she inherited her family's struggling 15-acre farm. Instead of selling the land, she transformed it into a premium grape vineyard. But she didn't stop there. By adding wine-tasting experiences, hosting harvest events, and partnering with local restaurants, she turned her vineyard into a destination. Last year, her revenue crossed $2.5 million. What's driving this revolution? First, there's technology. Modern vineyards use soil sensors, drone monitoring, and precision irrigation systems. These tools help farmers make data-driven decisions, reducing waste and maximizing yield. Then there's climate adaptation. While California and Washington have long been grape-growing powerhouses, climate change is opening up new regions. We're seeing successful vineyards popping up in unexpected places like Michigan, Ontario, and even Maine. These areas are producing unique grape varieties that command premium prices. The organic and sustainable farming movement is another game changer. Organic grapes can sell for up to 50% more than conventional ones. More importantly, sustainable practices are helping vineyards build long-term soil health and reduce operating costs. But perhaps the biggest revolution is in market access. Thanks to improved cold chain logistics and international trade agreements, North American grapes and wines are reaching markets worldwide. China alone imported over $80 million worth of North American grapes last year. The modern grape revolution isn't just about growing fruit. It's about growing a business that can adapt and thrive in changing times. Whether you're interested in table grapes, wine grapes, or specialty varieties, There's never been a better time to enter this industry. Now that you understand the revolutionary changes happening in grape farming, let's dive into Section 2, where we'll explore the exact market opportunities waiting for new farmers like you. Market potential and opportunities. Let's talk numbers, because these numbers are going to get you excited. The global grape market is expected to reach $150 billion by 2030. But here's what's really interesting. North America isn't producing enough grapes to meet its own demand. This gap between supply and demand, that's your opportunity. Walk into any supermarket and you'll see grapes year-round. But did you know that during off-seasons, most of these grapes are imported? American and Canadian consumers spend over $3 billion annually on table grapes alone. Local growers who can supply fresh grapes during peak season are seeing returns of up to $15,000 per acre. But table grapes are just the beginning. The real gold mine? Wine grapes. North American wineries are desperate for quality grapes. A single acre of premium wine grapes can generate $20,000 to $30,000 in revenue. Small boutique wineries are willing to pay even more for organically grown, specialty varieties. Speaking of organic, this market is exploding. Organic grape prices are typically 40 to 50% higher than conventional ones. Why? Because consumers are willing to pay more for chemical-free produce. The demand for organic grapes is growing at 15% annually, but only 5% of North American vineyards are certified organic. See the opportunity gap? Let's look at exports. Asian markets, particularly China and South Korea, can't get enough of North American grapes. They trust our quality standards and are willing to pay premium prices. A single shipping container of premium table grapes can sell for up to $100,000 in these markets. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Smart farmers aren't just selling raw grapes. They're creating value-added products. Raisins. The dried fruit market is growing at 10% annually. Grape juice. Premium juice commands up to $8 per bottle. Grapeseed oil. Sells for $30 per liter. Wine grapes. Premium varieties can fetch $2,500 per ton. The opportunities aren't just in traditional growing regions either. Climate change is opening up new areas for grape cultivation. Regions like Michigan, Ontario, and New York are becoming prime spots for cold-hardy grape varieties. These areas often have lower land costs, but can still command premium prices for their unique terroir. The market is there, and it's growing. But success isn't just about jumping in. It's about jumping in smart. In our next section, we'll show you exactly how to start your vineyard journey, from choosing the right location to preparing your land for those first precious vines. Want to know how to get started? Stay tuned for Section 3, where we'll walk you through every step of starting your own vineyard. Starting your vineyard journey. Before you plant your first vine, you need to get the basics right. The good news: you don't need hundreds of acres to start. Many successful vineyards began with just 5 to 10 acres. But what you do need is the right conditions. Let's talk location first. Grapes love areas with long, warm days and cool nights. You'll need at least 160 frost-free days for most varieties. The ideal temperature range? Between 50 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit during the growing season. But don't worry if your region is slightly different. There's probably a grape variety that will thrive there. Now, soil. This is crucial. Grapes aren't picky about soil richness, but they hate wet feet. You need well-draining soil with a pH between 6.0 and 7.0. A simple soil test will tell you what you're working with. Here's a pro tip. Gentle slopes are actually better than flat land. They provide better drainage and reduce frost risk. Let's talk money, because starting a vineyard isn't cheap, but it's probably not as expensive as you think. Here's a typical breakdown for 5 acres. Land preparation, $4,000 per acre. Vines, $2 to $5 per plant. Trellis system, $3,000 per acre. Irrigation, $2,000 per acre. Equipment, $30,000 to $50,000 total. Before you break ground, you'll need some paperwork. This includes local agricultural permits, water rights documentation, business licenses. If you're planning to sell to wineries, you might need additional certifications. Now, here's something important: patience. From planting to your first harvest, expect to wait 3 to 4 years, but don't let that discourage you. Smart farmers use this time to establish relationships with buyers, set up their processing facilities, build their brand, maybe even start wine tastings with purchased grapes. The waiting period is actually a blessing, says Tom Wilson, who runs a 20-acre vineyard in Sonoma. It gives you time to learn the business without the pressure of managing a full harvest. Your first-year timeline should look like this. Spring, soil preparation and infrastructure setup. Late spring, planting. Summer, training young vines. Fall, winterization preparation. Winter, planning and education. Here's a secret successful grape farmers won't tell you. Start small, but plan big. Your first 5 acres are your learning ground. Get these right, and expansion becomes much easier. Remember, some of the most successful vineyards in North America started with just a few acres and a dream. Now that you know how to start, let's talk about choosing the right grape varieties in Section 4. Because this decision can make or break your vineyard's success, grape varieties and selection strategy. Think of grape varieties like choosing players for a sports team. Each has its strengths, and picking the right combination can make you a champion. Let's break down your options and how to choose what's right for your vineyard. First, let's talk wine grapes. Cabernet Sauvignon leads the pack in value, selling for up to $8,000 per ton in premium regions. Not far behind is Chardonnay, which adapts well to different climates and consistently sells for $2,500 to $3,500 per ton. But here's a pro tip. Lesser-known varieties like Petit Verdot or Viognier often have less competition and can command premium prices from boutique wineries. Now, table grapes, the ones you see in supermarkets. Flame Seedless remains the king, making up 40% of table grape sales. But varieties like Sweet Globe and Cotton Candy are changing the game, selling for up to $4 per pound retail. These specialty varieties can turn a simple grape farm into a premium fruit operation. Here's the secret to variety selection. Match your climate to your grapes. Hot regions, think Cabernet Sauvignon, Zinfandel, Thompson Seedless. Moderate climates, perfect for Chardonnay, Crimson Seedless. Cooler areas, try Riesling, Pinot Noir, or hardy table varieties like Concord. But climate isn't everything. Disease resistance is crucial. Modern varieties like Norton and Marquette can save you thousands in pest management costs. They might not be as famous, but they're becoming favorites among organic growers. When I started, I planted what everyone else was growing, says Maria Rodriguez, owner of Blue Hill Vineyards. Now I wish I'd planted some up-and-coming varieties too. That's where the real profits are. Smart variety selection also means thinking about harvest timing. By choosing early, mid, and late season varieties, you can spread out your labor needs, maintain steady cash flow, reduce storage requirements, keep your buyers supplied longer. Remember, grapevines are a long-term commitment. These plants will be with you for decades, so take time with this decision. Talk to local wineries, visit successful vineyards in your area, and maybe even hire a consultant. It's worth getting right the first time. Now that you've chosen your varieties, let's move on to Section 5, where we'll explore the advanced growing techniques that will help your vines thrive. Advanced growing techniques, a complete roadmap. The journey begins with site preparation. Before those first vines go into the ground, you need to get your soil right. Test your soil pH. Aim for 6 to 7. Add lime if it's too acidic, or sulfur if it's too alkaline. Deep rip the soil to about 3 feet to break up any hardpan. This gives your vine's roots room to grow deep and strong. Once your soil is ready, it's time for planting. In colder regions, spring planting works best, usually April to May. In warmer areas, fall planting can give vines a head start. Space your vines 6 to 8 feet apart in rows, with rows 8 to 12 feet apart. This spacing is crucial for airflow and equipment access. Plant your vines slightly deeper than they were in the nursery and water them in well. Now comes the training period, your vine's teenage years, if you will. During the first year, focus on root development. Let the main shoot grow, but remove any side shoots or flower clusters. Your goal is to develop a strong trunk. Install your trellis system now. Don't wait. Use strong end posts and high tensile wire. This is your vine support system for the next 30 years. In year 2, it's all about establishing your vine's framework. Select the strongest canes to form your permanent cordons. These are the arms of your vine. Remove others to focus energy where you want it. Start training shoots upward if you're using a VSP system, or along the wires for other systems. Still remove any fruit clusters. Yes, it's hard, but your patience will pay off. Moving into year 3, you'll finally start your irrigation and fertilization program. Install drip lines if you haven't already. Water deeply but infrequently to encourage deep root growth. Apply fertilizer based on soil tests, not guesswork. Usually, vines need more nitrogen in spring and more potassium as harvest approaches. Disease prevention starts now too. Develop a spray program based on your local climate. In wet regions, focus on preventing powdery mildew and bunch rot. In drier areas, watch for spider mites and leafhoppers. Remember, prevention is cheaper than cure. By year 4, you're entering production mode. Now's the time to fine-tune your canopy management. In spring, thin shoots to prevent overcrowding. During summer, remove leaves around fruit clusters for better airflow and sun exposure. This is also when you'll start cluster thinning, removing excess grape clusters to improve quality in the remaining ones. Throughout the growing season, monitor your vines closely. Use pressure bombs to check water stress. Test sugar levels regularly. Watch for nutrient deficiencies in the leaves. Modern vineyards use smartphones to track everything. There are great apps for this. As harvest approaches, focus on final quality improvements. Adjust irrigation to concentrate flavors. Remove any damaged clusters. Keep testing sugar levels and acid balance. Your goal is uniform ripeness across all clusters. Remember, these steps are your foundation. Think of them as your vineyard's infrastructure. Get these right, and you're set up for success. Cut corners here, and you'll pay for it later. Now that your grapes are perfectly grown, it's time to talk about the critical harvest process. Join us in Section 6, where we'll show you how to bring in your crop at exactly the right moment. Harvesting and quality control. The sun hasn't risen yet, but our vineyard is already buzzing with activity. Welcome to harvest time, the moment every grape grower waits for all season. Professional harvesting isn't just about picking grapes when they look ripe. It's a carefully orchestrated dance of timing, technique, and precision. Before a single grape is picked, we test the fruit using specialized tools. A refractometer tells us the sugar content, or Brix level. Table grapes are usually perfect around 16 to 17 Brix, while wine grapes need higher levels, often 24 to 26 Brix. We also check acid levels with pH meters, examine seed color, test berry firmness, and ensure uniform color development. The best vineyards start their harvest in the pre-dawn hours, often at 2 or 3 a.m. This isn't just tradition, it's science. Cool grapes are firmer and less likely to damage during picking. They stay fresher longer in storage. And for wine grapes, cool temperatures prevent premature fermentation. Plus, the cooler conditions are much easier on our hard-working harvest crews. Table grape harvesting is an art form. Each cluster needs to be handled like fine crystal. Professional pickers use razor-sharp clean scissors and support each cluster with both hands. They carefully place the grapes in shallow picking trays to prevent the fruit from crushing under its own weight. Speed matters, but quality matters more. Wine grape harvesting tells a different story. Many vineyards use mechanical harvesters that can pick up to 200 tons per day. These massive machines gently shake the vines, catching the grapes in collection bins. But timing remains crucial. The grapes need to be free from morning dew, with stems just brittle enough to release the fruit easily. Quality control happens right there in the field. Each picker's work is checked by supervisors who look for any damaged or underripe clusters. Temperature monitoring starts immediately, and the race begins to get the fruit into cooling facilities. Every minute counts when it comes to preserving quality. Managing a harvest crew is like conducting an orchestra. Everyone needs to know their part and perform it perfectly. The best vineyards train their pickers before harvest begins, assign specific rows to each worker, and use quality-based incentive systems. Regular breaks and plenty of water keep the crew performing at their best. Equipment preparation is just as crucial as crew management. Every bin, tote, and cutting tool must be cleaned and sanitized. Scales need to be calibrated, temperature monitors checked, and transport vehicles prepared. One dirty bin or dull pair of scissors can compromise an entire day's harvest. Documentation might seem boring, but it's essential. Smart vineyards track everything: harvest dates and times, yields from each block, quality metrics, weather conditions, and crew performance. This data becomes invaluable for planning future harvests and improving operations year after year. The final challenge is transport. Getting grapes from vine to storage requires pre-cooled vehicles, careful stacking to prevent crushing, and constant temperature monitoring. Every minute the fruit spends in transit needs to be planned and controlled. Remember, even perfectly picked grapes can be ruined by poor handling during transport. The secret to successful harvesting isn't just about working hard, it's about working smart. Take your time to plan every detail, train your crew thoroughly, and never compromise on quality. Because at the end of the day, your reputation and profits depend on how well you handle these crucial hours during harvest. Next up, we'll explore what happens after your grapes leave the vineyard. The critical post-harvest handling that can mean the difference between premium prices and painful losses. Stay with us as we continue our journey from vine to market. Post-harvest success factors. Welcome to the crucial world of post-harvest handling, where the difference between profit and loss often comes down to the details. These next few hours after harvest are just as important as the entire growing season, and we're going to show you exactly how top vineyards protect their precious cargo. The moment your grapes leave the vineyard, the clock starts ticking. Within 30 minutes of harvest, your grapes should hit the pre-cooling chamber. This rapid cooling process, dropping the temperature to around 34 degrees Fahrenheit for table grapes, stops the aging process in its tracks. Wine grapes might be handled differently, depending on your winery's preferences, but the key is always speed and precision. Storage facilities are the unsung heroes of the grape industry. Modern grape storage isn't just a big refrigerator, it's a precisely controlled environment. Temperature, humidity, and even air composition are monitored constantly. The best facilities use modified atmosphere storage, where they adjust oxygen and carbon dioxide levels to extend shelf life. This technology can keep table grapes fresh for up to 60 days, dramatically expanding your market opportunities. Packaging is where art meets science in the post-harvest world. Table grapes need ventilated containers that prevent moisture buildup while protecting the fruit from damage. The industry standard has moved toward recyclable plastic containers with specific ventilation patterns. These aren't just boxes, they're engineered solutions that maintain the perfect environment around your fruit. Quality control continues long after picking ends. Professional operations check their grapes multiple times during the post-harvest phase. They're looking for signs of moisture loss, stem browning, berry shatter, and decay. Each inspection gets documented, creating a quality timeline that helps improve processes year after year. Some operations even use artificial intelligence systems to scan for quality issues, catching problems before they become visible to the human eye. Transportation logistics might seem boring, but they're absolutely critical. The best operations use temperature-monitored trucks with real-time tracking. Every shipment gets a temperature logger, recording conditions throughout the journey. If anything goes wrong, you'll know exactly when and where it happened. Some cutting-edge vineyards are even using blockchain technology to track their grapes from vine to final destination. Value-added processing opens up whole new markets for your grapes. Maybe some clusters aren't perfect enough for the fresh market, but they might be perfect for wine, juice, or raisins. Smart operators have relationships with processors, ensuring that every grape finds its highest value destination. Even grape seeds and stems can be sold for oil production or compost. The cold chain is your lifeline in post-harvest handling. Every transfer point, every storage facility, every truck needs to maintain that crucial temperature range. One break in the cold chain can trigger premature ripening and spoilage. The pros use electronic monitoring systems that alert them instantly if temperatures drift out of range. Documentation and traceability have become more important than ever. Today's buyers want to know everything about their grapes: where they were grown, when they were harvested, how they were handled. Smart operators use digital systems to track every step, from the moment of harvest to final delivery. This information isn't just paperwork. It's a marketing tool that can command premium prices. Market timing is the final piece of the post-harvest puzzle. The best operators don't just sell their grapes. They time their sales to hit market peaks. They understand seasonal price patterns and maintain relationships with multiple buyers. Some even use futures contracts to lock in prices before harvest begins. Remember, post-harvest handling isn't just about keeping grapes fresh. It's about preserving value and maximizing returns. Every step in this process has been developed through years of experience and represents an opportunity to maintain the quality you worked so hard to create in the vineyard. Next up, we'll explore the final frontier, building your grape empire through smart marketing and business strategies. Stay with us as we show you how to turn all this hard work into sustainable profits. Building your grape empire. Welcome to the final and perhaps most exciting section of our journey, building your grape empire. This is where all your hard work in the vineyard transforms into a thriving, profitable business that can sustain generations to come. Let's start with direct-to-consumer sales, the most profitable channel in the grape business. Today's consumers want to know their farmers, and smart vineyard owners are capitalizing on this trend. Farm stands, farmers markets, and you-pick operations can generate up to 3 times the revenue of wholesale channels. But the real magic happens when you combine these with agritourism, vineyard tours, harvest festivals, and educational events that transform your farm into a destination. Building strong wholesale relationships is your next step toward empire status. The key is reliability and consistency. Major grocery chains and distributors aren't just buying your grapes, they're buying peace of mind. They need to know you can deliver consistent quality, on time, every time. Start small with local retailers, build a track record, and gradually expand your network. Many successful growers maintain relationships with both premium buyers for their top-grade fruit and secondary markets for their standard produce. Winery partnerships can become your golden ticket. Premium wineries are always looking for high-quality grapes, and they're willing to pay top dollar for them. The secret here is understanding what each winery needs. Some want specific varieties, others focus on organic certification, and some pay premium prices for unique terroir characteristics. Long-term contracts with wineries can provide the stable income you need to expand your operation. Diversification is your shield against market fluctuations. Smart grape empires don't just sell fresh grapes. They create multiple revenue streams: raisins, juice, wine grapes, table grapes, and value-added products like grapeseed oil or grape-based skincare products. Some innovative growers are even partnering with local breweries and distilleries to create unique grape-based beverages. The digital age has opened new frontiers for grape empires. Social media isn't just for selfies, it's a powerful marketing tool. Successful growers use platforms like Instagram and YouTube to share their story, build their brand, and connect with customers. Some are even selling directly through online platforms, shipping premium table grapes nationwide during peak season. Financial planning becomes your compass for growth. The most successful operations reinvest their profits strategically. Maybe that means expanding acreage, upgrading equipment, or adding processing facilities. The key is having a clear plan for each dollar of profit. Many successful growers follow the 30-30-30-10 rule: 30% for operating capital, 30% for expansion, 30% for debt reduction, and 10% for innovation and experimentation. Education and community building become your multipliers. The most successful grape empires don't just grow fruit. They grow knowledge. They offer workshops, host student groups, and share their expertise. This not only creates additional revenue streams, but builds valuable relationships and goodwill in your community. Finally, never stop innovating. The grape empires of tomorrow are being built on today's innovations. Whether it's adopting new growing techniques, experimenting with emerging varieties, or finding creative ways to reduce costs, constant improvement is your path to long-term success. Remember, building a grape empire isn't just about making money. It's about creating something lasting, something that contributes to your community and could be passed down through generations. Every successful grape empire started with a single vine and a big dream. With the knowledge you've gained from this guide, proper planning, and dedicated execution, there's no reason your vineyard couldn't become the next success story in the North American grape industry. Thank you for joining us on this journey from soil to success. Now it's your turn to take these insights and start building your own grape empire. Good luck, and may your vineyards prosper.